If you want to have a career in musical theater, you just need to know how to navigate it with simplicity, with clarity, and with options so that you can make the right decision for you. Because this one video is your complete business for musical theater course. Let's start off with the most important foundation and the most important topic, which really is defining what success looks like for you. And what ends up happening is you start in the industry, you're throwing spaghetti at the wall, and you're just trying to see what sticks. I want you to answer a couple of questions. How do you see yourself in the industry right now? And you need to be very specific and focused on this. And the reason why we're having this conversation is because it's going to trickle into everything we talk about. Your materials, how you market yourself, your casting profiles, like literally every headshots, like everything. It needs to be very specific and focused. So what stories do you want to tell in your career right now? And this can be a working, like I always say, create a doc. You may not know the answer to some of these questions. What stories do you want to tell? What type of musicals do you want to do? What type of projects do you want to do? What type of characters and roles do you really want to take on? Are you a dancer first, and so you really want to play these ensemble roles that allow you the space to dance in a certain style? Are you someone that is a singer, musician, and you really want to focus in on roles where you can play a story about a country girl that grows up in Texas and she also plays the guitar? Be very focused and specific about that. Also, what types of shows do you not want to do? Are you not interested in cruise ships? Are you not interested in doing tours for whatever reason? Are you not interested in doing certain types of shows with certain type of content for whatever personal reason? You need to know those things so that you do not waste time as we move forward to get you where you want to go, which is booking work and being seen for work in the industry, right? And navigating that with as little or as with confidence, but with less anxiety. What are your dream roles right now? What are the roles that you want to play right now that you want to be seen for in the industry? Write that down. The list of your dream roles also needs to include roles that are being done right now. So go to Broadway, Google Broadway shows and see what types of musicals, plays, if you're doing that as well. What is being done right now? And what would you audition for? And if you're like me and you're constantly auditioning and submitting, then what are you constantly submitting and auditioning for? What types of roles are they? What types of shows are they? That's going to lead us to really understand what type of materials we need to have and what we need to lead with in the industry. Most people get this wrong because they think, oh, I'm just going to have a headshot of my smiling face and I'm just going to sing a couple of, songs and then they can decide. They don't decide. I mean, they do decide, but you need to show up saying, I know where I fit in the industry and how I want to be seen. And then they in return can respond to that in the way that they respond and see you with casting. But our job is to come to the table with that information, all right? And doing this narrow down focus doesn't mean you're going to miss out on other opportunities. It doesn't mean if I lead with this type of work that I'm not going to be seen for other work. It just means I need to show casting how I want to be seen, where I think I fit into the industry, and then they can take it from there because everybody's going to have a personal opinion. Focus on the work that is being done right now, that is popular right now, and that is happening right now in your industry and where you want to be seen. So if you want to be seen for Broadway national tours, what tours are out right now? What is happening on Broadway? What is happening regionally? And you're also going to be able to discover this information and understand it more as we continue on with the work that we're going to do in this class. What are your strengths, right? What do you want to be seen for that you feel like is your best skill that fits into the roles you want to play? Okay, and that can be ensemble, that can be feature roles, supporting roles, lead roles, or a mixture of all of those things. Okay, but you need to know what is your strength and you need to be honest about that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I'm a really great mover. There's nothing wrong with saying I am a dancer and I have 2 songs that I know that I feel very comfortable in. There's nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing wrong with saying I'm a musician first. I'm a singer-songwriter and then I'm an actor. But you need to know that because that's what makes you you. And it's better to lead with that than to try to be something that you're not. You won't feel comfortable and you won't shine in the best way possible. Let's move on to topic number 2, which is audition materials. All right, let's cover the basics of auditions because it has shifted, and I have some tips for you here. First off is headshot and resume. We all know we need a headshot and resume. Headshot needs to be 8x10. You do want to have it in digital and you do want to have it in print. I would highly suggest everyone, we all do it now. It's vertical. My old headshot is horizontal. It's all vertical now because 2020, post 2020, everything is online and digital submissions. So go vertical, up and down. You want a really great shot of your head when you're starting out. Really great shot that showcases the roles and the stories that you want to tell and the characters that you want to kind of really dive into. We want that headshot to showcase those characters, not to costume, but to showcase those stories, the emotions behind the roles in the work you want to be seen. I like to have a couple of different ones because you can use them for different roles and submissions and emotions. Go with the standard, don't overcomplicate anything. White border, your name at the bottom, get them printed at an actual headshot printing service place. You can get those in New York. There are a couple in LA as well, and they'll even mail them to you. You'll have those on hand, but you do still need both. You need them less in print than we did back in the past, but you still do need them in print, okay? Resume, you want your resume attached to the back of your headshot. You're gonna staple it on the corners and then you're gonna trim it around. Don't try to get fancy, okay? And print it on the back of your headshot and then it smears everywhere and you think it's gonna be better. Like, just staple it. I know some people say to tape it too, if that's kind of your jam, but just go with the standard industry. Don't overcomplicate it. Staple all 4 corners and then trim the excess because the paper will be bigger than the 8x10 headshot, right? Trim it up. Staple it front to back. Headshot on one side, resume on the other, printed black and white. Keep your resume simple. We just need the basics. Categories, regional theater, Broadway, national tours, whatever you have, workshops. We just need the name of the show. In the next column, we need the role that you played. And then in the next column, we need the producing team, the theater location, and then a director if it is someone that is going to be very much recognized, either on the coast that you're in or in the regional theater that you're in, all right? Keep it very, very simple. At the very top, you want the basic information where people can contact you, your phone number, if you're equity or non-union. If you're not union, you do not need to write non-union at the top. Just leave it off. If you're equity or a part of any unions, you definitely write that. If you're EMC, you can write that, but that is kind of starting to fade with open access now. So we don't so much need EMC on there anymore because it's open access for the union. Basic information, website, your phone number, your name, and then the basics of your stats, which really can be up to you. You don't have to put weight on there if you don't want to. Height is great. Hair color and eye color are still kind of standard. And then the basics of just how to get a hold of you and if you have an agent. If you have an agent, then all of that information, you'll definitely want to follow your agent guidelines. The other audition materials that you are going to need are going to be your songs, your monologues, and then tapes. We will get into tapes here in a second, but the basics first of your audition book have shifted since 2020. You don't need a big audition book of 50 songs from every single thing. Honestly, you need less than 10 songs, and then you can pull other songs as you need them. But an audition book that goes back to what we talked about at the very, 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 very beginning of this conversation already, which is going to showcase the stories and roles you want to play in a contrasting way. So if you are never going to go in for an early Broadway musical, you're I don't want to audition for Oklahoma or anything Rodgers and Hammerstein or anything, pre-1970, then you don't need a song from that era. You just don't if you're not going to go in for those. And that's what I mean about spaghetti on the wall. If you're looking at auditions and you're thinking about, I'm going to go in for a jukebox musical or Six the musical or Dear Evan Hansen or Jagged Little Pill, then you need a radio tune and you need multiple radio tunes, right? And Juliet, all of these musicals on Broadway that are jukebox musicals or that really come from the pop, rock, folk, country era, you need songs that showcase that are not from the musical theater canon. And I will be honest with you here, About half the auditions that I see now all over, and half the auditions that I even do, they're specifically saying, please do not sing from the musical theater canon or sing in the style of the show, which really does say, don't sing from another musical. Okay, it's just the way that it is now. It's extremely important that you have, a book that reflects the work that you want to do. And most of the time, that is going to be songs from the radio, not songs from the musical theater canon. So go back to those roles and ask yourself, what would I audition for if I was going to be seen for these shows? Go down and go online. What's being done on Broadway? What's being done in your regional area? What's being done on tours? What shows are being done on ships? And then what would you take into audition for those? Or what have you taken into audition for those? You need a book that reflects that, okay? You don't need a book that reflects every single thing that could happen. And I know we were taught that back in the day, but you really don't need that. If you do need a song and you're asked for a song and you don't have it in your book, then you know what you're going to do? You're going to be smart and you're going to pull something from a past audition. You are going to pull something from a past show that you've done, or you're going to find something and then just quickly coach it and get it ready, because that's what we do. But you want to be ready so you have a book that has a contrasting 6 to 10 songs that you can sing that are going to fit the auditions that you're going to. And that will fluctuate over time. When you start to go to auditions and you're like, they're asking for a pop rock song that's very bubblegummy, think Mean Girls, and you don't, or think Legally Blonde, and you don't have it. Then you're going to add that to your list and you're going to work that in. Or you're going to be called back for something over and over again. And you're going to say, great, I've been called back for The Mom and Jagged Little Pill over and over again. I need to get a better song that's going to fit that show. And that's going to be your hole that you're going to fill. So it's never like one and done. Here's my book. It's done and I'm never going to have to redo it. Not so. It's a very flexible thing, but you do want that book. You do want it in print, and you do want it in a notebook that is easy going to be turned. I'm going to say this again, don't overcomplicate it. It doesn't need to be, if you like page protectors, great. Don't overcomplicate it with trying to figure out exactly what every audition accompanist wants, because they're all going to be different. Make it easy to read, clearly mark the start and stop, and then make sure you understand how to give the tempo and the feel and the hook of the song, if it's a radio song, to your accompanist, so you can communicate to them that information. You also want that audition book on tape. You want clips, not reels, we haven't talked about that yet. You want clips of everything that's in your audition book and maybe some other songs. The more you do auditions and submissions, the more you're going to have clips available to you, because you are going to prep them for an audition. I have so many clips now that most of the time, half of the new updated clips that I use for audition submissions come from callbacks. So the more that you do this, the more content you're going to have to utilize and pull from. But 16 to 32 bars of your song in your audition book. We don't need the whole song. I know people keep saying that, but I have never sung a whole song in an audition in the last 20 years. 16 to 32 bars. That's all you need, okay? Less than a minute. Sometimes 30 seconds is great. Most of mine are 3 pages long. That's it. Then we need that in a self-tape form, right? So you need to self-tape all of your audition cuts and with a track, okay? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't need to pay someone to film all of this. You just don't. Simple backdrop. Okay, use your phone. It's literally what I'm using to film this video right now. Simple light and a microphone is always helpful, but if nothing else, use your phone. Film all of those cuts, and then we're going to use those for your casting profiles. Next thing you need is going to be a demo reel. It could be a performance reel. It could be just a reel of clips that you film on your own, like the self-tapes. We want those separated as well, because eventually you will have certain clips that you'll send in for auditions or utilize and switch out. But having a reel is really great, especially when you're navigating starting out. That reel can be performance clips if you have enough. It can be a mixture of performance clips and tapes, or it could just be tapes if that's all you have. Less than 2 minutes. Super quick clips, show just the highlights, just you doing what you do best. If you're a dancer, we want to include dance in that. Okay, if you're a musician, put that in there as well. But really, if you're focusing in on a musical theater demo reel, make sure it is just singing, and it can be dancing as well if you would like it to be. I would say we don't really need scene work in it just yet. It's just just singing and dancing, the main things. Again, lead with your best strengths. If you don't dance really, 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 really well, then you don't need to include that, just singing. If you have enough performance footage, great as well. Just remember, we want the highlights and we want to be able to see you first. You are the focus. If the clips are group and we have to do the whole like arrow pointing to your head in the performance clip, better to use something that's just a self-tape of you, all right? Again, focusing on your strengths, and we're going to focus on, again, what we talked about in the very first step, which is how do you want to be seen? We don't need just a hodgepodge of all of this different performance footage and all these different songs that are not focused and geared towards the stories you want to tell, the roles you want to play, and how you want to be seen in the industry. If you are not a legit, soprano or tenor or whatnot, don't put that in your reel, all right? I have people all the time that say, oh, I have a belt and I have a ballad and I have an up-tempo and then I have a legit. And then I'm like, but what's your strength? What shows do you want to be seen for? And they're like completely different than that. If you play an instrument, put that in there. If you're a singer-songwriter, put that in there. But we want to focus it and gear it towards how you want to be seen and the roles you want to play. And trust me when I say that will make you stand out more than you saying, let me just give you everything and then you can decide. That's our job. That's our job, to put our best foot forward. Editing demos and your clips. You want to make sure that you're only editing them for exactly what you're going to use them for. Keep it clean. You don't need a slate. Okay. The only reason you would ever do a slate is if you were doing a callback and they asked for a slate and they said, say these things in your slate. Otherwise, we do not slate before our song clips. We do not slate before our demo reel. We don't need to have something flash on the screen at the beginning like a headshot anymore. That's a couple years past. We don't need our name on it because your name is going to be on it when you submit through Actors Access. Or if you're using your Backstage account, or if you are emailing them, the email is going to come from there and you're going to video link the file. If it's on YouTube, it's coming from your account. Your name is on there. It's kind of like going into an audition and saying, hi, I'm Ashley Espinosa, and I will be singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. They have my resume in front of them. They've probably already said hi to me. I don't need to do that. We're going to be just a normal human and we're going to do it just like we would in the room. Okay? So cut everything and just starts at the top of the song, maybe like literally a bar or two, just like you would in the room. And then the clip and the video ends right after you're done. Okay? Exactly like we did in the room. That's all we're doing is replacing it. So don't overcomplicate it. We don't need any fancy transitions. We don't need anything like, we don't need to title everything with the show and the role, and we don't need any of that. Okay? Clip, 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 highlight reels, the best part of the song or dance. Okay? I know we want to do a storyline with our reels now, but I say this to my clients all the time. It's not about a story. We're not telling a story. We're just showing them what we can do so they can say, yeah, we want to see you for that role or that part. All right? Keep it concise. Okay, next up, so let's move in next to auditions and casting profiles. Okay, you have to have an Actors Access profile. And if you do have an agent, we need to make sure that your profile is fully built out, because sometimes your agent won't take you and walk you through that. That's our job. Get the year subscription, trust me on this, pay for the 1 year, submit like for everything on it. And there are so many other opportunities that you're going to find on Actors Access. We need to fully build that out. And here's what I mean. I want you to go through your Actors Access and I want to make sure that you have your headshots, okay? You have your slate shots. You have everything built out in your resume just as it is on paper, but it's fully built out on your profile. If it's open, if there's a spot to write something, put it in there. All right. Keep it concise, but fill everything out. We also want to make sure that we have a reel or we have multiple clips on here. So every single time you are submitting with your headshot. You are submitting, it'll auto post your resume with your profile, but you are submitting a clip or a reel that is the most focused for that project, just as if you were going in the room. Now, there are going to be times where you are going to submit for something and you're going to say, I don't have anything up on my Actors Access profile for that specific audition, and I don't have the time nor the money, because every single time you upload a video, a clip, or a reel, you're going to have to pay $22 a minute. It's $22 as of right now. Make sure that full minute is like accounted for. let's say you do a 30-second clip, you're still going to pay $22 a minute. So make sure you use all of that time. I always tell people wait and upload like 3 or 4 clips at one time. Do like 4 30-second clips and pay for 2 minutes. And that's what we want to think about with your audition book. All we're doing now is digitizing it. So this is your open call. To be 100% honest with you, this is your open call, all right? So when you submit, pick the song or the clip, or if it's a dance show, right? Pick the dance clip of you doing that style. And if you don't have anything like that, the next best option is to do your demo reel. That's why having one great demo reel that is almost universal, but still focused in on the things that you do best, okay? Not versatile, universal. It's a little bit of a different idea, if you know what I mean. We're not giving everybody everything, but we're saying these are the things that I do really well, and that's the best option for this open call. I'm going to use that. Do not record something for every single time you submit on Actors Access. That's not the point in it. It's for them to just get an idea of who you are. Then they'll request materials, extra tapes, an appointment. That's how you get a lot of appointments now in New York City. Through your agent is going to have access to your Actors Access account. They're going to use Breakdown Express, which is the sister side of Actors Access that only agents and managers have access to. If you're trying to get an agent, they're going to want to see your Actors Access profile. But if you're wanting to be seen for most of these auditions that are happening in New York City, regional theater, non-union tours, national tours, Broadway national tours, like, this is your priority. Like, by far, before you do anything else, this is your priority for submitting. I don't care if you're equity, if you're non-union, if you are living anywhere else in the country. You don't have to be in New York to use this. I have clients all the time that book work from Actors Access all over the country. Okay? It can happen through tapes. And you need to understand what an EcoCast is. You need to understand how to get if you get a request for an appointment. And you're going to learn that by actually doing it. Okay? So trust me. Even if you don't have all that up now, start submitting with what you have on there. But go through, fully build that out, turn your notifications on, make sure you have the email sent when you get notified that you have an EcoCast of some sorts, a callback of some sorts, have those turned on. In conjunction with Actors Access, we use the Actors Equity Association website, where you're going to see all the EPAs, the ECCs. You can only see this if you're a union, but the website is where you want to go to see all of those equity auditions. Most of the time it's going to be for you to be seen in person. So you can sign up, you can get an appointment for those online now, and then you can show up if you'd like to be seen in person. And also they will do some submissions where they will take self-tapes for the first open call. Okay, so check that out. Otherwise, after that would be Backstage. So Backstage has gotten a big update. I actually booked some UGC work and some other different types of jobs that are not me being a musical theater performer, that are other types of opportunities that I can make money. You would not believe sometimes the jobs that just kind of almost fall through the cracks a bit. You kind of just have to understand how the industry works. So your next steps too would be to go to Backstage, build out a profile. If you are union, not really the best priority of your time unless you are trying to dive into and make extra money for like voiceover work or UGC work, or maybe some other opportunities for like just video type work, unboxing work. Like those opportunities are out there, but that wouldn't be your priority. But if you are non-union and you're wanting to make some extra money, I would say focus in on that. But again, I've had clients that are SAG-AFTRA that have booked work off of Backstage. It's just kind of the wild, wild west. Okay, so Backstage would be your next opportunity. Lots of different areas in here for content creators as well, voiceover work as well. Use those profiles. If you're paying for the account and if you can get it at a discounted rate for like the first year, go ahead, do that. Then really make sure you're utilizing it to the best of your ability. Fill out all the profiles, learn how to navigate it, submit for a bunch of different things, and see what comes back to you. The next opportunity would be like playbill.com. You can go there. If you're non-union, you can see the union postings on there. Sometimes you can submit, but there's a big shift happening the past even 6 months where they're even saying, please submit for this job on Actors Access. Even all the non-union tours that are going out, they're still saying, please submit on Actors Access. Everything is shifting there because it really is becoming the industry standard for union and non-union work. Playbill.com is a great place to find other opportunities like workshops, even for non-union work, workshops, other types of jobs where maybe they're not going to post it anywhere else, or other just opportunities for you to make extra income and cash that maybe aren't performing, but that are in that realm, like teaching jobs or singing telegram jobs or seasonal singing jobs or seasonal dance jobs, cabaret jobs. Cabaret opportunities. We'll see a lot of those on Playbill as well that aren't paid, but you can get footage of you singing on a stage and you can sing in a really cool cabaret in like New York City. If you are in bubble cities, the next opportunities would be for you to find the theaters in the area, get on the websites, get on their website, get on their email list and sign up for their email list so you know when the auditions do come out. That was a lot, right? How you doing so far? Good? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Let's continue on, shall we? Next up, we have the audition and submissions. So when you are submitting on all of these places, always lead with what you would do at an open call. But don't fall into the trap of thinking, let me give you a great example here. I had a bunch of clients that were submitting for the non-union tour of Mean Girls that went out not too long ago. And they were like, I'm going to do the entire packet and I'm going to submit it and I'm going to pay for it to be uploaded. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then there were also posts where they posted on Playbill and then they posted on Actors Access and then they posted on their Instagram. Go back to the basics, okay? Go back to the basics so you don't lose your mind, which is use Actors Access first. If they are there, submit through that, okay? If you want to spend the time and you see the post and they're like, submit for Mean Girls, here are the roles, do the entire packet and then send it to us in this Google Doc form and upload them on YouTube. If you had the time and energy and the bandwidth, and if it's a show where you're like, I know I'm going to audition for this and be called in for this many times now when it goes regional, then yes, coach the material because it's there for free for you, right? Coach the material, film it, and then submit it. Don't pay to put all that material in Actors Access. You can put it on YouTube and then you can submit it through the link that casting provides if they allow you to do that, if it's like an open call. Or if there is an open call, an open EcoCast, which they do sometimes, and they'll give you the link to that, and you could upload them as an open call EcoCast for free. Sure, do that. But if you're like, I don't have the time, I am really just looking at being seen for ensemble, then go with your demo reel that you already have. Go with your main pop rock, leaning towards like that bubblegum pop sound. Use that instead of thinking you need to do every single tape for every single audition. That can get really tiring, really overwhelming, and you can burn out super fast. Right? So go with what you have at first. Don't feel like it needs to be perfect. It needs to be done. Done is always better than perfect. So when you're submitting, submit with what you have first. If they want to see you with the submissions that you have, your demo reel, your clips, your headshot, your resume, then they'll say, hey, we'd like to see you for this role. Please film this song or this dance and these sides or whatever else that they need to see of you, and also this slate. Then that's your time to go, okay, they are considering me. I'm going to do all the materials now. That's how the industry works now. It's very different than it was before. Don't get overwhelmed because right now you have the opportunity and the accessibility to submit for 50 things a week and be seen for it, right? We don't need to prep something new for all of those 50 things like we used to in the past. Use what you got, keep it laser focused, and then update it as you move forward in your career. The next idea with submissions I want to remind you is to keep an audition tracker. I do have a free one if you'd like to use mine or see what mine is and kind of make your own out of it. I'll put it in the description box down below. You can get my copy for free. Document all of your callbacks. If you're submitting, I don't suggest documenting your self-submissions. If your agent is submitting you, always ask for a submission report every 6 months so you can see what they're submitting you for and how your agent sees you. Log what they ask you to sing, log the songs that they ask you to do, the dance clips, log the sides, because you can go back and pull and use those for so many auditions. I can't tell you how much that is overlooked. Also log how you feel. Log what went well, what didn't go well, because that's going to force you in your mind to kind of figure out, okay, what is not working? What am I missing? Hey, they asked me for a pop song. I don't have it. This one asked for a country folk song. I don't have it. I'll need to get one. It gives you a way to keep the progress going and moving forward. It also gives you a way to log a bunch of songs and sides that you can go back and say, you know what, I'm really missing this in my clips or my reels or my demos or for in-person auditions. What have I done in the past? What have I been called back for in the past that I can just pull, because it's literally the 16-bar cut from what they're going to ask the character from Mean Girls to do. And that's a great role for me. So let me pull that. I mean, like that's what I did for a lot of roles lately, is they're already asking me and calling me back for Come From Away or Jagged Little Pill or all these other shows that I really want to be seen for right now. Well, what are they asking for me to do? What did I do in the callback tapes? Great. What did I do in the room? Great. Let me make that into a tape. Let me make that into a self-tape. Let me post it on my profile. It's giving you more information and opportunity and material. That's what I mean by continuing to move forward. The more you do this, the more content you're going to have, the more material you're going to have to add to your portfolio and to really expand your audition book and to switch things out when you need it. Callbacks are very different now. When you submit on Actors Access and even backstage, most of the time they're going to ask you for materials. They're going to say, great, you submitted for Come From Away, for Beverly. We want you to do this packet, and it will be the packet from the show. It will directly be the songs, the sides, maybe a dance for the show for the character. Maybe it's ensemble in Jagged Little Pill, and they're going to give you a dance and they're going to want you to learn it, film it, and then upload it, along with maybe sides, songs, dances, and a slate. Follow the instructions. It's all going to be held in Actors Access. Even if you have an agent, you'll get that back through Actors Access. The other option is backstage. It functions the same way. They will ask for tapes. You will self-tape them. The name of our game is self-tapes. Be 100% honest with you. Unless you're in like a little bubble city, like I call it, where they don't really do a lot of tape callbacks. But even now, everything is still shifting to taped callbacks. Sometimes you might even have the opportunity to send a tape if you're not in town. So get really comfortable with self-tapes, like really comfortable. And just do it as if I was in the room. It doesn't need to be some crazy, like, movie version or something fancier. It needs to be like fully blown out. Like, just create the best tape that you can to showcase you doing the material with what you have. Don't overcomplicate it. Focus on the performance first. The performance, the quality of that is more important than what's going on back here. All right. Cool. Otherwise, it's still going to be where a lot of times, especially in New York City, you will get appointments. They'll typically come through Actors Access or directly through your agent, or just through a casting director if you don't have an agent. And the appointment will be something that is actually scheduled. We do have EPAs and ECCs. As a non-union member, you can still go to those auditions. But I will be honest with you, post-2020, it's really hard to be seen as a non-union person at EPAs and ECCs. Most of the time, you will not be seen. It really depends on where you are and what city you're in. But New York City, it's really hard to be seen. You always have the option of taking your card, but be very careful with that because you want to make sure that you're still going to be able to do the work that you can do. And if you get hired for a union job, they're going to give you your card anyway. You know what I mean? Unless it's a union house that does have non-union work, which is still fantastic. You can still consider yourself a professional actor, actress, dancer, singer, doing non-union work. Success is what you define. Success is what means the most to you. And I have a free download in the description box below if you want of my self-tape guide. It has all of my notes in it, all of my links in it, has step-by-steps of tips of what to do. That's in the description box below if that's helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And if you do find this valuable, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, because then that tells me that this is valuable for you and that I can create more content around this. All right, so let's dive into the next step that you need for this business, which is an online presence. We are all aware of the importance of being visible online. The way that I teach this is to claim your online real estate. It's only progressing, it's only getting more important in a way that we can control and keep the anxiety on low. Your name is your brand. Your logo is your face. And your purpose is the type of roles that you want to be seen for, that we talked about, I don't know, like an hour ago at the beginning of this conversation. I start with all of that first because that is more like, okay, I can understand how I want to be seen in the industry, the roles that I want to play, and then I can filter that in through my auditions, right? Those are the steps. But now we're really shifting into like the business side of this, which is a little bit more uncomfortable, if you will. We're a business. We are selling ourselves. We are the product. How do you want to be known? That's really, really important for you. It might be something different than what you have or what you've been given, and that's okay. So what name do you want to be known by? And then your image is your headshot, okay, your face as it is right now. And then how do you want to be seen in the industry? What's your purpose? What type of work do you want to do in this industry? How do you want to be known? Super important. What nouns did you pick at the beginning of this conversation? All right. That's how you're going to be seen in this industry, because we are technically, if we're thinking about this as a business, what are you selling? And I know we avoid that because it is hard emotionally. But once you laser in and get focused on that, it does make it more of a career and less of an emotional investment that's too personal to handle long term. Yeah. So claim your real estate. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. YouTube is not social media, but I'm throwing it in there as well. LinkedIn. If TikTok, if you can handle that, and if TikTok is still open by the time you see this video and not banned, but claim your real estate, meaning get your name or your name official, okay? So you have it there. And as much as you humanly possibly can, get them all to be the same, close as possible. Maybe there's an underline, maybe there's an official at the end, maybe your middle name is in it. Like my Instagram is Ashley Lynn Espinosa because Ashley Espinosa was already taken, so I had to use my middle name. But claim that real estate. It's free, it's there, and it is not going away. Big mantra here. You don't need to have tons of views. It's not about views. It's about visibility. When a casting director or a director or an intern or a agent or a manager or a whoever, a fan, and they go in and they Google you, what comes up? Go do that right now. Go Google yourself. What comes up when you Google yourself? Is it what you want? Are there things up there? Is it leading to exactly what you need them to see? Or is it kind of showing what you don't want them to see? And then how can we manipulate that? You can't control algorithms on social media, but you can control Google because of what you put out into the world. The biggest search engine is Google. The second biggest search engine is YouTube. YouTube is opened by Google. So we're going to use those. Yeah? So claim your real estate. Make them public. This is up to you because you have an opinion and you have a right to say, I don't feel comfortable and safe. I'm going to keep my Instagram on private. That's great. I look at everything now as a business online. How can I use my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube, right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, I'm not really hot on right now, but it's there. How can I use those to help me move forward in my career? It doesn't have to be all business. We definitely want some personal in there, but it's about being visible at the party, and every party is different. So when you show up to Instagram, people are going to see you in that light. When you show up on Facebook, people are going to see you in a different light. When they show up at the LinkedIn party, that's different. When they show up at the YouTube party, every party is a little bit different, but you want to be at the party. And the great part is that you don't have to hang around at the party. You don't have to constantly be talking and conversing at the party, but you want to be at the party. You want to be visible at the party because everybody parties at a different place. Some people are going to go to Instagram first and they look you up. Some people are going to go to YouTube when they look you up. It just kind of depends on their party jam. So just be visible. Don't worry about views. Definitely get on YouTube. Claim your username. Build out your profile. Again, use your headshot and upload the video clips, because again, Google is going to be crawling those videos. Put your reel up there. If you have multiple demo reels, put them up there. All the clips. You can use audition clips, and you could create like an audition list, playlist that you can use. And you'll be surprised at how many times you will reuse these clips for other submissions that maybe you're just submitting for off of casting profiles for whatever reason. I've even had clients go into auditions in New York City, and the person at the piano was like, hey, I'm MDing the show. I'd love to see more of your work. Is there somewhere that I could see it? And you're like, yeah, just go to my YouTube. It's my name. Search my name. It's right there. Or your website. But YouTube is great because they'll open it up and be like, oh, this is exactly what I need. You could create a pop rock playlist of songs. You could do, different types of songs that are more free from the confinements of self-tapes. YouTube gives you the ability to have a broadcast channel that's a little bit, again, a different party. I have a lot of clients that have created different types of videos that they've used for submissions that are kind of very different and unconventional. I have a couple of clients that have curated the most amazing YouTube channels specifically for performers, and they use like the same backdrop, and it's very curated in a specific way. And they have monologues and songs and audition clips that they have from other shows. They do reels, roles, and they create demo reels for the roles that they've done. So you can get really fancy with YouTube, and you'll be surprised at how many people will see that and how that can really affect your online presence in a way that is going to market you without you even knowing it. Yeah, because YouTube, second search engine in the entire world. You need a website. It's just a thing now. You just need it. And the reason why is because we want to claim your real estate. We want to claim that space online. You need yourname.com, ashleyespinosa.com. Buy it, get it. You need a website that is really leaning now less towards the portfolio style that we see, where the tabs at the top of the website are like resume, headshots. That's not where we're leaning anymore. We're leaning in an online home that showcases the work that you want to do and the authenticity of what you have to offer. That's what it is. It's not just your casting profile. It's not just your social media. It's a space for all of those things to come together, for someone to get to know you in the way you want them to see. You're welcoming them in your front door, in your online home. What do you want them to see? What do you want to introduce them to? What do you not want to introduce them to? What do you want them to see that's the most important to you to get you to move forward in your career? And that's different for every single human. There are many different ways you can use your website. You can keep it up to date with marketing. You can keep it up to date with new reels and clips, with the new work that you're doing. You can blog. You can have an email list, your link in bio through your website as well. But remember, Google is searching a website, and they're going to pull from that. That's another way for you to show up in the Google search by having a website. Super, super important to utilize everything that's out there for you. And a website is like the best way to do that because you are in control. I use my website for a lot of other purposes as well, but I will take a moment here to talk about support jobs. I don't call them survival jobs because you're not surviving some horrible thing. You chose this career. We knew what it's going to be like. So support jobs. It's really extremely important to make sure that you don't rely on your work as a performer to pay your bills. Sorry to burst your bubble, but it's just not truth. I've never relied on my paycheck as a performer. Sometimes it is great. Sometimes I'm on contracts and it's like making tons of money. Sometimes we're not on a contract. Sometimes we're between contracts. Sometimes we're between jobs, and it can be a long stint because we can't control the work that we get offered. All we can control is what we show up and do. So your website and even social media, honestly now, can be an outlet for you to make additional income and money. Casting profiles, if you want to try to do UGC work or voiceover work, or I don't know, you want to YouTube, this video right now that you're watching is making me extra money. That helps support my career and my job, my life, and it's another outlet for me. So you can get really savvy with the way that you use your online presence through platforms that we've already set up to this point to create support jobs. And all that takes is thinking about what other things are you good at? What do people ask your help for? What other skills do you have? Did you take another class in college? Do you have a certificate in something, something? Are you really good at social media? Do you have like 1,000, not 1,000 because that's not much anymore now, but do you have 100,000 people and followers on TikTok? And have you learned that algorithm? Can you teach that to someone? I teach people how to do YouTube. I teach people, this is career. I do one-on-ones to literally help people one-on-one with building a career in this industry, and also overcoming emotional struggles and emotional walls that we have to navigate in a way that is going to work for us to keep us going. I do this one-on-one work all the time, and I run that through my website, and people find me on Instagram. You may be finding me right now on YouTube, and you're going to DM me on Instagram and say, hey, Ashley, you talked about support jobs. I was thinking about doing this. Do you think that would be a good idea? And you can find me on Instagram. Again, it's about visibility, not views. Somebody may show up to that party. I have people reach out to me on my website in the contact page and say, hey, I saw your video on this. I just want to say thank you. And I'm like, great. I'm so excited that you reached out to me and said thank you. YouTube is not social media because it's a broadcast channel. So just keep in mind, support jobs, you can find them in really unconventional ways. And if you want more help with that, or you want to see the different ways that I've made money along my career in my entire life being in this industry, down below, again in the description box, I've created a document that you can look at. It's totally free to view. And I've got the 50 ways I've made money, along with links and other tips and tricks and even tutorials if I've created them, all for free down in there. You can take a look at that, and maybe it'll help spark something in your mind. Okay, let's move in now to our last couple of lessons and topics here, which is unions. So first off, union. I'm just going to talk about our union as a theatrical performer, which is Actors Equity Association, AEA. You've probably heard me talk about EPAs, ECCs. If you don't know what that means, it means Equity Principal Audition or Equity Chorus Call. Go to the website, even if you're not union, and learn about our union, whether you agree or don't agree, whether you're going to be union or not. Every union, that's okay. I know people that drop their card. I know people that take their card. I know people that kind of stay in the balance of, well, if I get a job that's union and they give me their card, I'll take it. Open access is right now. EMC is phasing out. EMC meaning equity membership candidacy that we used to have, where you'd get so many weeks and then you could take your card on your own. And now there's open access. You can apply for it if you'd like to and see if you get approved. But go to the website, all the information is on there, and it tells you about the contracts, it tells you about the dues, it tells you about what is to cover. If you do apply and you do get accepted into the union, you will have to pay the initiation fee up front. And what that means is you become a union member, and then you can only do union contracts. So just something to keep, in mind, that once you take a union, you take your card, as a lot of people call it, then you can't do non-union work. You can drop your card if you'd like to in the future, but really make sure that it's the right time for you. And that means that you are going to be protected by the union. You'll have, healthcare and benefits. You have to get your certain weeks to get access to those things. But if you take a Broadway show or a regional theater production that gives you a union contract, then you'll have other benefits and privileges as a union member and support system as a union member, including a specific type of pay and other benefits that come with that as well. Certain type of work hours and work weeks. But again, go to the Equity website and you can read really all about that in a deep detail. Do you have to have your card to work in theater? No. Do you have to have your union card to audition for Broadway shows? No. Do you have to have your union card to audition for union houses? No, not at all. Absolutely no. Is it harder to audition for union jobs now as a non-union person? Yeah, absolutely. Is there a lot of non-union work out there? Absolutely, 100%, especially now. Is the pay different? Yeah. Is the treatment different? Yeah. Are the situations in a non-union job different? Yeah, absolutely. You're not really covered by, and you don't have any protection. But you have to figure out what is right for you right now. And you're still a professional if you're doing non-union work. Okay? Okay. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is agents. Do you have to have an agent in musical theater? No. Is it helpful? Yes, it is helpful. We are living in a world now where it's very much film and television. The same thing as I was talking about with Actors Access and submissions, and most of the auditions being submission-based and self-tape based first. We're going the route with agents as well, where everybody is kind of getting an agent. An agent is beginning to be that in-between person. You know, like film and television and commercial work, you have to have an agent really to get seen for any type of higher level work. Is it the same for us now? No. But is it beneficial? Yes. And you can have an agent whether you are union or non-union. Okay, that doesn't really matter. It just matters regarding, is the agent representing union or non-union performers. Some of them don't represent non-union. Some of them only represent non-union, and some of them do both. You definitely will want to find an agent in your area. It's really hard to get an agent if you don't live in New York City or in LA, or you don't already have an established relationship with somebody that says, hey, I know that you're in this location most of the year, but yeah, I'm going to submit you. And if you get a callback for this audition in New York City, you're good to fly there, right? Yeah. Okay, great. We have that communication. And you want to be honest with them. If you're not actually in those cities, let them know that. How do you get an agent? That is the $1 million question. If you asked every actor how they got their agent, every single person would say something different. If you don't get one at your senior showcase, if you go to college into your BFA program, then don't sweat it. If you don't have an agent now and you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, I have clients that are all the way up in their 70s, don't sweat it. All of the work that we've done to this point, everything we've talked about, Actors Access, headshot, resume, clips, reels, focused in on how you want to be seen in the industry as it stands now, that's what you need to submit for an agent. Okay, you need to have all of those things set up and showcase that you're working and you're hustling and you're going to do the work, because your agent isn't going to do the work for you. They're going to get you, in the door. They're going to get you that appointment, or they're going to submit you and give you some, validation and probably, hopefully, have a conversation with casting and really be that bridge for you and advocate for you for roles that they think you're really right for. But it will not solve all your problems. Just navigating where you fit in the industry first, doing all of the work we've talked about up to this point, that's all in your control. Utilizing all of that and then submitting for agents, or if you're equity, going to the open agent call that they have once a month, you can find that on the equity website, that's in your control. Some agents you can't even submit for. There's a great page on Backstage where you can see a list. Same thing with equity. You can see a list of agencies. You can start to see if you have any friends that are represented, ask them questions. You may not get an agent until you book a show, and then you can say, hey, I'll book to this show. And agents are going to be like, great, let me negotiate that. An agent doesn't get paid until you get paid. If an agent is asking for you to pay them money, red flag, don't do it. If they're telling you, you must drop everything and answer me for everything, don't do it, all right? Look for the red flags. They don't own you. They're not your boss. They're working with you. And it is so much better to figure out how to navigate this industry on your own than to be with an agent where you don't know what's happening. You haven't seen a submission report. There's no communication with them. Sometimes that's better for you to know how to do this career on your own before you jump into having an agent. And then some people have great experience with agents and they get them seen for work and it kind of pulls them out of where they are lately. But your job is to do the work as best as you can right now and to navigate those as you move forward. All right. Your next steps. Lay out everything I've talked about, really go through research, dig into everything, fill everything out, continue to learn and grow as you move forward in this career. And if you need any help, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can find me on any of the parties that you'd like to hang out to. And I can't wait to see what happens in your career as you move forward. Let me know if this was helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.